Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to my channel. How are you guys doing? So, I'm just going to wait for others to join us and then we shall get started. Okay. Happy Thursday to use all wherever you are. And if you can hear me, please do let me know in the comment section as well. Okay. Um, while I'm waiting for others to join me, let me just try and upload or share the stuff I want to share with you guys on my screen. Please like and share. How are you all doing? I hope you all are doing fine. And I'm sure you guys have already seen all of the new updates so far in regards to immigration. So I was actually going to do a sit-down video in regards to it, but you guys know your girl is busy working for 37.5 hours a week is a lot, and also being a mom, it's a lot. So I might not always do sit down videos, and I might not always do live streams as well. So I tend to come online when, like today now, I've not been online since I think last time I was live or on was on, I think it was on Sunday. So I've been working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and like I said, in the course of the week that my working hours are half 7 in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. So by the time I get back home from work, all I just want to do is, grab a cup of tea, take a shower, and jump straight into my bed because I know I have to be up again for half 5 in the morning to get ready for work. So this live stream is actually going to be a very quick one. Ideally I was going to do record this and then live stream it, so that way I've already pre-recorded it and you guys will just watch it. So I'm just out here to share obviously what I've noticed so far in regards to the policy changes or visa changes that all of the countries are now releasing. Like, US started with, countering something they called, I believe Nigeria already started the process of, in terms of visas when Americans apply for visas. And then also US decided to reciprocate the same thing. So I don't think this is a new policy or something that should shock us, because at first it was more or less like a shock to me. And then I went on to read further and I realized that, oh, come on, Nigeria already, did this similar thing. So US is just, doing the same thing back. So according to my note that I've got here, it says that Trump administration is not matching Nigeria with the same policy method on Americans once they apply for American, when they apply for Nigerian visa. So for me, I did not know that Nigeria actually has this policy that US are now, doing the same back to Nigeria, because I felt like it's the same policy, but US are just reciprocating the same thing back to Nigeria. So in terms of that major changes to the that US has just introduced, let me bring up my slide here. So I think there's a US visa change. I don't think let me see if I can find it on my screen here. I thought I downloaded it. So I did a slide PDF slide that I want to share with you guys. So yeah, I think this is the US one. Guys, please like this live stream as it come in. So like I said, US just practically, did the same that the American has done. That Nigeria has done to them. So the first slide we're going to be talking about, obviously US visa changes to replying or doing the same thing that Nigeria actually has for the US. So we all know since Trump became the president of the United States, it's been great. Hello, Abby. Good morning, my beautiful sister. How are you? So since Trump became the president, he has been trumping, like he has been doing a lot of things, and man is not joking at all. So obviously, like I said, I was going to do this as a sit down video, but I decided to put it in a live I decided to put it in a PDF slide so that I can just come here, discuss it, making sure that this video is not too long so that people can watch. So I thought at first I was like, is the world rising against Nigeria in terms of all of these visa restrictions? It was like on Wednesday, on Tuesday, that US released their own, UAE released their own. What other country? Obviously, we know of UK with white paper. Canada also, they were making changes. I'm like, is the world actually rising against Nigeria? So this is one of the US. So new US visa restrictions for Nigerians effective from July the 8th. So that July the 8th will have been Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. And obviously, when I was reading it through it, I did not know that Nigeria actually has this policy first, but now US is just reciprocating the same policy that Nigeria has. So what's the change and why? So non-immigrant visas, B1, B2 for business tourism, F1 for students, J1 for exchange visitors issued to Nigerian citizens are now strictly single entry, regardless of what type of visa that you have applied for or whatever it maybe you're coming as a tourist or you're coming for business. If you're coming in, you apply as a single, you only apply to come in once. If you're coming back in 3 months' time, you need to go and apply again. Unlike when US will give you like maybe 10-year visa. And with that 10-year visa, you can enter US anytime as you want. But now they've now made that regardless of whatever you're coming from, whatever visa that you hold will only allow you a single entry into the US. And I know a family that, you know what, they come in like with something similar, they do it in the UK as well. They have a 10 years visiting visa and they come into the UK. I think if they come in, they spend up to maybe six up to 5 or 6 months. They keep going back. But they've got that 10-year visiting visa. So if you have something similar like that for the US, whatever visa, so if you already have that visa before this, restriction started, your visa is still valid. But if you're applying after July the 8th, you only anytime you apply for a visa will only allow you single entry, not multiple entries. I hope that makes sense. So according to my slide here, it's only valid for 3 months. Previously, these visas could be multiple entry and valid for up to 5 years, just as I've just explained. So US Embassy in Nigeria explained this is part of standard visa reciprocity, meaning that Nigeria already imposed same on Americans. So American is just giving them the same gas goes back. LOCA, CS said Nigeria should consider probably changing its name. Other African countries changed theirs after colonialism and so-called independence, e.g. Gold Coast changed to Ghana. I don't know about that, OCA. I don't know about that. So anyway, US Embassy in Nigeria explained this is part of standard visa reciprocity, meaning the validity now mirrors how long US visas are issued for Nigerians in Nigeria. So I've pretty much just broken that down to you guys. So the next slide says that the change is part of a national security review, aligning with broader US efforts to tighten entry rules for certain nationals. And you know what, like I said, that there's no smoke without fire. You guys, if you noticed recently, I speak about Nigerians, some of our Nigerians who go to the US and commit fraud, who go to US and commit scam. Some might even commit all of these fraud scams rightly while they are in Nigeria. Recently, a certain pastor in the US, he was caught in the COVID fund, whatever, and he's been jailed. The monarch is going to be jailed on the 1st of August because they pleaded guilty. So all of this, like I said, all of these countries did not just wake up one day and start implementing all of these changes. Like some of our Nigerians, they keep rubbing our face in the mud, and it is all this attitude of ours that is making all of this change come into place. You guys might not agree with him, but I believe this is contributing to why all of these restrictions are put into place. So general rule and what it means. So single entry only. Once you enter the US, you must reapply for a brand new visa to return, even if yours hasn't expired. I'm sure that is well explanatory. 3-month validity. You must use the visa within 3 months of issuance. Entry must occur before the expiration. It's just like, let's say, for instance, you have a 6-month visa and you did not travel in the first month, in the second month. You are now traveling by the 6th, maybe you have a 6-month visa. And it is when you have 2 months left, you now want to travel. Or more, it is from the airport that they will send you back to where you're coming from. It is from the airport they will send you back to where, because what the essence, you have a 6-month visa, you do not travel in the first, second, you are not traveling at the 5th month when you have only 1 month left. I hope that makes sense. Abby said it's true. Even some people that are meant to be respected members, exactly. You would imagine that because they are respected members of the society, that they should not even be the type of people that will be caught in such acts. But yes, they are the ones who are being caught. You can imagine if respected people in the society are being caught in stuff like that. What do you expect of a common unknown citizen in the community? So I believe all of these things contributed to why the UK, the US, and all of these countries are coming up with all of these several rules, visa rules. Hence why they're coming up with all of these, rules, transition rules, visas issued before the 8th of July they can keep their existing validity and entry allowances. So if you've had whatever visa you have before the 8th of July, all of the benefits of the policy or all of the benefits surrounding the type of visa you have, you will still keep it up until whatever you have expires. So once whatever you have before the July or before the 8th of July expires, that is you now have to be moved on to the new policy. Are you hearing me? Let's move on, guys. Please like this live stream for me, guys. So, why is the US doing this now? So, visa reciprocity. The US says this reflects how US citizens are treated when traveling to Nigeria, part of an ongoing global process. Also, security cited security concerns linked to national security measures initiated under President Trump's executive order of 14161, January 2025, which called for enhanced vetting, followed proclamation on 10949 on June 4, 2025, restricting travel from certain countries. At least they are not restricting Nigerians from coming to America. And also look at the case of that lady that was going to go on exhibition. She was going to the US to exhibit her business, which means that she's probably going to be selling some of her products. And then she was traveling to the US on a tourism visa. You're not going for tourism. You're not going for tourism. I want to believe maybe she was not sure of what type of visa she should have applied for. And I believe we did a live stream where we discussed that maybe she should have asked more questions. Maybe she should have actually gone to the American embassy in Nigeria and say, come, this is what I'm going to the US to do. What type of visas would you advise me to apply for? So you can imagine if that is happening, if most people are doing that, it's definitely going to impact us. You know, you're going to exhibit a business and then you're traveling on a tourism visa. Make it make sense. Hello, Michael. Michael said more Nigerians will go to the UK until reform are up heavily in the polls and another revised white paper is released to pacify. I don't think they'll be changing that white paper. I'm sorry. Only if whatever government that only if Kisama is being booted out and others come on board. You know, all of these rules changes anyways. Look at how the rule changed and then they opened the door for care worker visas. Now they are the ones that opened the route, and now they're saying we don't want you guys anymore. So it's their country. I believe in all of this. It's just telling us that we should make our own country better. So anyway, let's keep going. So Nigerian and the US response. Obviously, Nigeria's foreign affairs ministry has expressed concern, calling the move disproportionate and lacking true reciprocity. But Nigeria also has something similar to the US coming to Nigeria. So how is this unfair? Guys, let me know your opinion and thoughts in the comment section. So they also said diplomatic engagement is ongoing. Nigerian officials say high-level discussions are underway to seek a reversal. Well, I wish them all the best. Okay. So who's affected the most? So frequent travelers, business people, and academics are going to be affected. So student and exchange visitors on F1 and J1 visas, families planning multiple US visits will be affected. Costs and inconvenience have increased. Yes, because as each new visa requires new fees, applications, and interviews. So if you want to apply again, maybe in 6 months' time, if you are someone who travel frequently to the US, maybe you travel 4 times to the US, each of every moment you travel to the US in those 4 times a year, you'll have to go and reapply again. You will pay fees. So in a way, they are making money. So if you travel 4 times in a year to the US, during the 4th time that you are going to go back, you're planning to go back, you're going to have to go back and apply 4 times. You pay fees 4 times. You interview 4 times. So I understand the inconvenience there. I don't know why my insurance company is calling me. I will deal with them later. Okay, so let's move on. What you can do. Okay, I think I should put a disclaimer. I am not an immigration advisor. So all of these things are just what I read up and I draw up a note about it. CA said the whole process of getting Nigerian visa with British passport is CA, no be only you. Even me that I'm sitting down here. I left Nigeria 20 years ago. My first trip back to the UK, back to Nigeria from the UK was in 2021. I left Nigeria in 2005. And my first time ever going back was in 2021. My Nigerian passport, I don't even know what happened to it. I've moved home several times since I've been in the UK, so I must have misplaced it at some point. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to go to the Nigerian house in London to go and apply for Nigerian passport. Do you know what I did? I applied for visa on arrival. I paid $250 to this office in Abuja. I applied for visa on arrival, which meant that I could travel from the UK to Nigeria with my British passport. And then when I arrived in Nigeria, I got a Nigerian visa stamped on my British passport, which means that I could stay in Nigeria for 30 days. It was easy for me because there was no way I was going to put myself through the stress of traveling to London from Scotland to go apply for a Nigerian passport. And you know their attitudes in those embassies in London is the same as you going to those Nigerian offices to go and apply for a Nigerian passport. So there was no way. I often say to my husband that, come, if I have to go to Nigerian embassy in London to go and apply for a Nigerian passport, I will cause wahala there and I will call police, because I would just not want to agree with the way I'm being treated. Because if it was to be in Nigeria, they treat me that way, I would give them bass boost, I would give them woto woto. So I was just like, no, to avoid myself giving myself police wahala, best thing is no, apply. That was what I did. I applied for a visa on arrival on my British passport. I paid that was 2021. I paid $250 through, I think there's an immigration office, or I think it was Nigerian immigration office in Abuja. I know somebody there, so I applied, paid $250. That was given the paperwork. I flew from Glasgow to Nigeria with my British passport, and once I arrived in Nigeria, I was directed to the visa on arrival. It took me about half an hour. They stamped me with a visa. They put like a passport page, allowed me to stay in Nigeria for 30 days. And within the time I was in Nigeria, I was able to apply for my Nigerian passport. So even that Nigerian passport was not ready when I was leaving Nigeria. And when I was coming back into the UK, the Nigerian immigration was asking me, are you not a Nigerian? Why are you traveling with a British passport? I'm like, Oga, do you want me to give you the experience or the story of how the Nigerian embassy is in London? And he was like, oh, have you applied for Nigerian passport while you were in Nigeria? I said, yes, I've applied, but it's not yet ready. And yes, when I left Nigeria, it took 3 months for that for that passport to be ready, Nigerian passport. And I paid DHL for my family to send it to me in the UK. So now, any future travel to Nigeria, I've got my Nigerian passport now. So even if it expires, I know I've got it. But me dealing with Nigerian embassy in London, God forbid, I'll avoid them. So I'm reading your comment here. It's even better if you can have a Nigerian passport in addition to a British passport to travel. Yes, so I'm super happy. The only concern I've got now is that my kids don't have Nigerian passport, and if I ever plan on taking them back, I don't know. Maybe we'll just do a visa on arrival. I will just do a visa on arrival for them. They will travel into Nigeria with their British passport. We'll do visa on arrival, and once we get to Nigeria, they can go and apply for Nigerian passport. That's the plan I have. So now Michael said Nigeria does have a large number of overstayers on the State Department website, but not high in comparison with other nations. True, you are right, Michael. I agree with you. Habib said, if you're ever in that situation, get an emergency travel certificate and do your passport in Nigeria. All right, okay, but for us, like, we have British passport, so we can still enter Nigeria with our British passport. Habib said, etc. a Nigerian passport, etc. £100 and Nigerian passport 100,000 naira. All right, okay. Habib said, if it's not ready, why won't they give you that step for entry now? Wow. Obviously, it was my Nigerian obviously my British passport, and because I already did the visa on arrival, so I have like a Nigerian visa, which meant that I could stay in Nigeria for 30 days, and I was only in Nigeria for 2 weeks anyway, so they had no choice but to let me go. The guy immigration was asking me questions. I'm like, oh God, don't try me this afternoon. Anyway, so what you can do, act fast. Use existing visas issued before July 8th, before they expire. Plan ahead, expect to reapply for a new visa for each trip. Yeah, so if you're a business person, if you're traveling to the US if you travel every time, each and every time you're traveling to the US, you will have to apply for a new visa for each trip. Stay updated. Nigeria and US are in talks. Policy could change with diplomatic progress. Fingers crossed for that. Monitor vetting procedures. So US embassies now conduct social media checks and stricter reviews. Like that lady now, she said they went onto her social media handles and they did all the things they have to do. Yeah, ETC route is cheaper. All right, okay, maybe that's what I'm going to do for my kids then. Maybe that's what I'm going to do for them. I say immigration asks to pick questions just to get money. I know this one was reaching, and me, I was ready. I was ready. That $1 you're not going to get from me. Anyway, the summary of all of this: the old approach, 2 to 5 year multiple entry visas. That's the old approach. So with the new approach now, it's now a 3-month single entry visas. Another old approach, multiple trips allowed within validity period. The new approach is now you must reapply per trip. If you like go to America 20 times a year, you need to apply 20 times that you are going. Old approach, higher cost and administrative burden. So the new approach now is that increased cost and planning due to frequent reapplication, and they are using this to make money from everybody. So further information before I round up this part of the US changes. This change reflects a sharp tightening of US visa policy for Nigerians, partly in response to how Americans are treated abroad, partly tied to broader US national security measures. I don't know why US are scared of security. Like, why are they scared? If your house is in order, why are you scared? Like, what's all this security? Like, why are they? I don't understand why they are scared. Is it Nigeria that should Nigeria be scared that they're going to throw pow into it one day? I don't know. Anyway, if you're preparing for travel or studies, I would recommend consulting the US Embassy's official website. Their local announcement was on the 8th of July, a few days ago, and seek guidance from Nigerian authorities about possible future shifts. So that's pretty much that about the US changes. Guys, leave your thoughts and opinion in the comment section as always. And then let's go on to the UAE. Yes, UAE of all places. They also released new visa restrictions for Nigerian travelers. Like all of these things were released one day. On Tuesday, was on Tuesday that I found all of these news and I had to put them into a slideshow while I was at work. Say, you know what, it's better I put this in a slideshow. And all of them effective from the 8th of July. 8th of July. So let's dive into this as well. So transit visa has been banned. The UAE has completely suspended transit visa for Nigerian nationals. That effectively means Nigerians can no longer transit through Dubai or other UAE airports on their way to another destination. See, for me, if I'm traveling to a certain destination, if I'm not able to find a flight that will take me directly, I will not go to that country. It's just like now you want to travel to Nigeria. You live from Scotland now. You go through Amsterdam. You stay there for 4 hours, and then like me, I don't like short trip. If the flight is not taking me directly, I don't want to be cutting corner. Like when people are saying that they are traveling from Lagos to Anambra with maybe with Peace Airline, they will drop them at Benue, and then they will, like as if they are downfall on the street. Why should you be having multiple stops anyway? So that's what they're pretty saying there, that you can no longer transit. Even though you are not actually leaving that airport when you are transiting, they're now saying that Nigerians can no longer transit. So CA said, wow, if US immigration are checking social media, maybe folks should consider temporary deactivation before traveling and after traveling. Well, I don't think they're going to be able to do that, because now they're now saying that if you are, from the point of view applying for a visa from them, your social media handle has to be public. If it is on private before, and you have now gone ahead to apply, it has to be on public. Yes, I saw that policy a few days ago, and I'm sure it's almost everywhere. Yes, that's what they're saying now. So if you wake up one day and say, oh, I want to go to the US today, and you have a private social media handle, for the fact that you are applying, from the first day you put in your application, you need to make your social media platforms public. So you can't hide. See, I'm afraid. Too late now. So tourist visa restrictions for ages between 18 and 45. So Nigerians between the age of 18 and 45 years old are now ineligible for tourist visas if traveling alone. And the condition is that they must either travel with family or in an organized group to qualify for a visa. That's that. Enhanced financial requirement for those who are 45 and over. So applicants who are 45 years and over must submit a personal bank statement from a Nigerian bank covering the last 6 months, and also showing a minimum ending balance of 10,000 US dollars or Naira equivalent each month. So this one, they are using it to catch everybody. The way some people go and do Oluwole. This time, Oluwole will not help you. And some people, there's a way when they have parties in the bank, that the bank will quickly use bank to to cover your balance. And then when you get your visa, they will now move the balance. There's still a way they could revisit your, they might just shock you and say, okay, yeah, log into your app. Let's see if the money is still there. So all of these things, like for me, I always say this, what? If you really want to travel abroad for a purpose or for something, you need to plan towards it and be prepared. Don't go and be using shortcut things to make your travel purposes appear. That's just my own advice for you. Okay. So context and motivation. So these measures come shortly after the US announced on the 8th of July new visa restrictions for Nigerians, e.g. limiting validity of most visas to one single entry and 3 months. So I've just shared the US one with you. So it also reflects a rising trend of tighter visa policies by both Western and Gulf countries, citing reciprocity. I hope that's how they pronounce it, and immigration control as key reasons. I beg, what is the population of them in Dubai or UAE? Why are they restricted? Why are they not wanting people to come in? I understand that UK don't full. Yes, UK is full. I'm sure you guys will agree with me. UK is full. So I understand that UK are trying to limit, amount of troops, crowd that are coming in. But what's up with UAE? Like, what is the population in UAE? Anybody that knows, let me know in the comment section. Okay, let's move on. So the broader implication here is that this is less than a year after the UAE lifted a long-standing visa ban on Nigerian passport holders. Yes, we've not forgotten about that. Following its COVID era restrictions, also travel agents are warning that these combined restrictions are likely to, significantly curb travel from Nigeria. Like, what are people going to do in Dubai, in UAE? What are they going to do there? I see videos of some girls on YouTube saying they turn them to house help. They are not treating them well. My beautiful honey babe, good morning, sis. How are you? You know, I've seen videos of some girls who are in these Arab countries saying how they were being treated, you know, to do stuff. Why, like, what are they going to? If I'm not going to the posher areas there for holiday, why am I going there? What am I going there for? I mean, there are other countries where get better sun. Why do I want to go to UAE? So, anyway, so travel agents warn that these combined restrictions are likely to significantly curb travel from Nigeria, including tourism, business, and education trips. What education? What do you want to go learn from UAE? Don't get me wrong. Go let me know in the comment section. Only if maybe you think your source of business originates from there, then fine. But then if your source of business originates from UAE, I would imagine you wouldn't have any problem, right? But if you're just going there to say maybe you want to travel to go and make, you want to go and make abroad money, you're on your own. No, you are on your own. OYO. Let me put it that way. Let's move on. So the summary in all of this age group between the age of 18 and 45, the requirement that is that they must be accompanied. You can imagine accompanying a 45-year-old person. Hey, Princess Media, enter. Princess Media, how have you been? I was actually thinking of you 2 days ago. How are you and family? I hope you're good. Abby said, it depends, sis, and there are lots of opportunities there, even teaching. I know of a lady, she's a nurse, who I think she has been, she's UAE, but I don't know what part of UAE. She left UAE to come to Scotland to become a nurse. And I was asking her, why did you leave? So she did say something about that when they pay them salary, they pay you based on the salary wage according to the country you originated from. So if me as a Nigerian, I go to UAE to go and work, they'll pay me based on the salary that I'm supposed to be earning in Nigeria. How does that make sense? How does that make sense? Oil industry, yeah. See, anything that relates to oil industry, Abby, I will always gravitate towards that. But me, I don't know anything in oil. So, yeah, people who are into the oil business will obviously, yeah. But anything else, okay. So, the summary table is that if you are between the age of 18 and 45, you must be accompanied and you will not be given no solo tourist visas except you are all coming as a group. And also, if you are 45 years and above, the requirement is that you must provide bank statement with over $10,000 in it monthly. Conditions, you must provide 6-month proof. All Nigerian nationals, no transit whatsoever. And yes, complete suspension is what you've been given. I can't see that light. So condition is that complete suspension. So all Nigerian nationals have been suspended from any transit visas. You can't transit. Either wherever you are traveling to, just travel straight, fair, no bus stop, no stopping up from Danfo, driver, Mofe, ball and be by you. No chance for that. If you're on a flight to a certain place, let that one flight take you to wherever you are taking it. They are taking it to. You can't transit anywhere. That's what they are pretty much saying to us. So the last slide on that one is that what you can do next. If you're planning to travel from Nigeria via Dubai, you will need a direct flight. Just like I said, you will need a direct flight option or a different transit location outside the UAE. And then you now be on those flights that will take 24 hours for you to get to where you are going from Nigeria. Or more, I will never see some funness. See, he said, regarding UAE, there was a video allegedly showing Nigerian court guns. I saw that video as well. Obviously, YouTube frowns on all these videos also, and I don't want it to kind of like bring anything to my channel. That's why I've not reacted on it. I saw it and I've just let that video pass. So each other in the street in Dubai at night time, giving a bad reputation. Yeah. You know, just when I started that, all of these changes, some of us have messed up. Hence why they are making these changes. I don't think they just woke up and say, oh, we want to start doing this. Nigeria is always on the top of everything all these countries are doing. And I don't know why. Okay. Princess Media said, nah, that doesn't make sense. So paying according to salary wage of your country. That was what this lady at my work told me. So she's from India. So they will pay her a salary based on what you're supposed to be earning. And I'm like, no. That will not work for me. I'm sorry. I don't blame her that she left anyway. So Abby said, I know lots of people in UAE doing well, but it's not a place you can stay and plan long term. Okay, Abby. Thank you so much for that. Honey Babe says, see you okay. Abby said, Nigerians that will be on the street singing praise and I don't even know what I want to say to that, Abby. You nailed it. President Media said, Nigeria keeps getting bad reputation. I just tired. No be only you, assist. No be only you. Anyway, what you can do next. So, like I said, if you are going anywhere, you need to find a transit where you are not flying through Dubai. You find another location outside the UAE. So, tourists between the ages of 18 and 45, you must travel with a family member or be a part of a group tour. Other than that, they will not allow you. Okay, tourists 45 and over, prepare and submit your 6-month bank statements demonstrating the required US dollar 10,000 monthly with a balance with balance during your visa application. So you have to put that together during your visa application. So let me read your comments and then we'll go on to the next slide. ABM President Media say, as in most of us are really badly behaved. We carry our nonsense outside. Now, don't get me wrong, not be only Nigerians. So there was a video on my channel where the US are now releasing details of some Ghanaians who are also allegedly involved in fraud as well, in fraud, COVID scam and stuff like that. So guys, all of them, you'll be seeing a lot of those videos on my channel. Okay, so just as they are naming and shaming Nigerians, they are starting to name and shame Ghanaians as well. So I guess bad apples come from almost all countries. Is the one that is most annoying is the fact that Nigerians we too they overdo. Abby said yes, so embarrassing. So let's go on to Canada. Now that one, because Canada seems to be where lots of Nigerians are actually, frolicking to now. At some point, I was contemplating moving to Canada. That was 3 years ago. But then I realized that my kids are the age of, they're all going to uni. I've got 3 of them in uni just now. In a couple of years, the last 2 will be planning to go into uni as well. So like, there's no way I'm going to move these children and say I want to go to Canada. So again, I'm still contemplating Australia. But then the only thing taking me back from Australia is the fact that it's too far. It's too far. So yeah. West Africans, to be honest. Yes, Abby said most fraud boys, even from Nigeria, have even moved to Ghana. Yes, so because they think that they are putting too much face on Ghana on Nigeria, so they are now operating from Ghana. You are right, Abby. Princess said our own too much. Why must we be involved at all? It be like say we learn from our balabulu, allegedly. That's what I'm saying about that, Princess. Honey Babe say Canada as well. Now, wow, yes, I actually saw Canada one yesterday. I was at work as well. When you're at work, we have this downtime. So I was just on the laptop and I saw them like wow. So I quickly did this slide here. Ghanaians have always been yes, but there's a way they do their own. They have always do it codedly. They have always done it codedly. So Abby said the issue with Nigeria is we are the more popular country and have a ridiculous population now through plenty children, and then we amount population is going like that. Yeah. So let's move on to the Canada one. Okay. So Canada increases proof of funds threshold for express entry applicants. Okay. So what does this say for us? What has changed? So their own started on the 7th of July. Applicants to Canada's Express Entry Program must show they have more money saved to support themselves upon arrival in Canada. The new minimum proof of funds thresholds are single applicants, you must have 17 million naira. Couple, 2 persons, 21 million naira. This is an increase from previous thresholds, which were around, 13,000 Canadian dollar, and if you're a couple, 17,000 Canadian dollar. So exact amounts may vary slightly based on inflation and exchange rate changes. So if you're a single person and they expect that you must have 17 million naira proof of funds. If you have 17 million naira, sure you want to come and visit Canada, and Abi you want to come and live there, because I'm not understanding. Princess Media said that people just they born anyhow. Yeah, population way na shame and embarrassment. No be small. Doris Davis said, let's call a spade a spade. Nigerians should try change all of these criminal characters in other people's countries and all will be well. But then these are individual people, like I've always said, and in all of these videos when I share them, that come, if you have the opportunity of traveling abroad and you decide to go into a crime or into a life of crime abroad, then you are I don't even know how to quantify you, because if Nigeria was bad, I decide to jackpot, you live to a country whereby you know that if you are a law-abiding citizen, if you work, do what you can do, provide for yourself, work, pay your taxes, you'll be fine. And in most cases, Nigerians that actually live within their means, they are doing great abroad. And like I said, it's not all Nigerians that are committing fraud in abroad. Okay, it's not all Nigerians. Me that I'm sitting down here, do you know how many times I've been approached by people saying that, oh, you've been in this country for a very long time, you have a business, you have an account that you're running pretty well, you have a business account that you're running well, let us do 200,000 pounds into your business account. And I'm like, now in all of these years that I've been in this country, I've never been involved in stuff like that. Not be now that I'm going to start it. Do you know how many times I've been approached? Oh, you have an account. It doesn't matter if you don't have any money in it. We'll throw a check of 200,000 pounds. I'm like, So I know people who are actually living, on crime and stuff like that. Like, no, that's not me. I believe in the work of my hands. Okay. I believe in the work of my hands, but now defrauding people, taking people's money, a life. No, I don't want to do that. Like I did not do a life of crime in Nigeria. Why do I want to start here? Why do I want to start now? So, like I said, if you are somebody that you come up from Nigeria, you can't go diaspora, you can't they do fraud, you're on a long thing. You're on a long thing. Abby said, me too. And I didn't even understand what that person meant. That was exactly Abby. My own did not even ask me for a passport. It was just my bank details. No, my business. So they were not wanting my bank. They don't want my bank, my savings. They want a current account or a business account. So the guy was just asking me random, like, oh, do you have a current account? I said, yes, I have a current account. That's where my wages, everything that comes to money, that's where everything goes into. And he asked that, do you have a business account? I said, yes, I have a business account, but there's not a lot of money in it. Obviously, I have why I had that business account was because then I was being called for lots of interpretation jobs. I was doing lots of translation jobs, during COVID period, and even prior to COVID, I did lots of translation jobs. So most of those money get paid. So hence why I decided to open a business account. And this one, it doesn't matter if you have a lot of money in it, as long as you've been running it for over 6 months or a year, that they could easily throw a check of almost £500,000 into it. And all you have to do, you don't need to do anything. That they'll just have to transfer the money once the money as marginalized in the account. I said, no be me, thank you. When I told my husband, I was like, ATML, you want to enter prison abroad? That was what my husband told me. Obviously, I just have to tell him that this is what this person said, that I met this person while I was at college then. And it was an Igbo guy that was actually telling me this. And I'm like, let me speak to my husband. And we're like, okay. And I spoke to my husband, like, ATML, that no matter what kind of money are you looking for? No, that no, he's not going to put his family through that. So no, I was like, no. So that's pretty much that in terms of what has changed. And also, what is proof of funds? So proof of fund is money you must have readily available to show you can support yourself and family members, if any, upon moving to Canada. It can be in personal savings accounts, fixed deposits, which must be accessible, okay? Investment accounts only if liquid and withdrawable. Certified bank letter statement for over 6 months. It cannot be borrowed money or property value. You all know the way people do in banks. They will speak to their bank manager. Oh, can you nurse this account for me? And the way you now enter Canada now, the money that they've used to nurse your account, the money they return it back to the owner of the account, and you're now on your own. I don't know if the Canadian authority or all these abroad countries are able to figure out if that money is no longer in your account if you're already in Canada, but I would imagine time will tell, because yes, UK came up with stuff like that Nigeria is among one of the countries who will come into this country. They will come in, they say they have money, and then a few months later on, they are going to go and claim asylum. And then when they look at their application and look at all of the documentations they've submitted with their application, it shows that they have that much amount in their account, and they've only been in the UK for like maybe 3 months. So what happened to those money you said you had in your accounts? And then you are now coming 3 months in, 4 months in, you're going to go and claim asylum. So that's the things that happen, okay? Abby said it like they needed help with receiving money. That's how they will come across. And then if somebody's a mugun, you will fall. But for me, I just knew straight away that was what they were going to do, because I've watched lots of YouTube videos and I've heard like lots of people, even before I left Nigeria, what they do. But I was just like, no, I'm not doing it. CSA, but Tinubu allegedly did a life of crime and DRG dealing when he was in USA before being president of Nigeria. I guess it's the sin of the fathers now that they're now asking that Tinubu is not our papa, that they're now asking from us. So yeah, this is Tobabi. Yeah, Only Babe said that that says it all, a whole president, and now they're now bearing the consequences of his sin on us Nigerians that we're not there when he was allegedly committing those crimes. Oh my guys, this is not funny, but that's how it is. Abby said, exactly. The president is also part of the issue. Very bad PR. Olori Lady, the whole number one of Nigeria. Now, we the children that we do, that was not even born then, when he was allegedly committing those fraud. Now, I am now being asked. Abby said, I was in 16 in college, and by the way, foolish boy, I hope he's finally done jail time. Well, their crime will obviously catch up with them. So let's move on with this slide, actually. So why the increase? Canada periodically adjusts the minimum required funds based on the low income cutoff, a federal benchmark to ensure newcomers don't fall below the poverty line. 2, inflation and cost of living increases across Canada, okay, which is also the same here in the UK as well. Number 3, the government also aims to ensure immigrants are financially self-sufficient, especially amid a national housing shortage, rising living costs, and broader immigration system reforms. Yes, all of those people that are coming, I'm sure, out of the 99.9%, out of the 100% of people who are coming abroad, who says that this is the fund they have, trust me, that money that they say they have in their account, nobody them get them. That money is not theirs. They actually maybe just focus to their bank manager and say, okay, we are traveling. Can you nurse our account with so money? And once they now settled into Canada, they move the account money away from their account, and then they become skint. So context, caps on study and work permits. The proof of fund increase comes as part of Canada's broader immigration policy tightening, including a 2-year cap on international study permits until 2026, plans to limit temporary foreign workers and reduce reliance on them by 2027. Okay, stricter rules on postgraduate work permits. I think Acid Darling speak about all this Canadian stuff. So if you want to remain abreast with what is changing in Canada, go visit Acid Darling. She talks about, I'm sure it's Acid Darling, that's our YouTube channel. She talks a lot about Canada because she resides in Canada. So she'll give you all the lowdown on what is happening and how you may be impacted. Okay, so whatever I'm sharing here is just a brief summary of what's going on. Okay, so these changes reflect growing pressure within Canada to manage housing demand. Yes, there's even housing shortage here in the UK as well. Reduce strain on public services, same here in the UK as well, and ensure better outcomes for both Canadians and newcomers. So you can't blame them. Okay. Also, who is affected? New applicants to the Federal Skilled Workers and Federal Skilled Trades programs via express entry are impacted. Canadian express class applicants who are not currently working in Canada are the ones who are majorly affected right now. And who are not affected? Applicants already working in Canada, e.g. on a valid work permit or under the CEC, which is a Canadian experience class, are not affected. Provincial nominee program, candidates with job offers, refugees or family sponsorship applicants are not impacted. Okay, I'm running through this because I only want to be here for an hour. So what should you do? Disclaimer, I am not an immigration advisor, so anything I give to you here is just for your information. Please go carry out your extended research if you think that you're going to be impacted by any of this information. Okay, so if you're applying under express entry after the 7th of July 2025, please update your proof of funds documents to reflect the new requirements. 2, ensure your bank statements are recent and show the full amount required. 3, don't delay submission. If you are close to the current lower threshold, apply before the change if possible. So if you have not applied before the July the 7th, you're on your own. There's no way you'll be, especially if you look at the current requirement now and you did not apply before this requirement come into place, or you're on your own. I don't think you ever meet the requirement. So obviously July the 7th is past now. So if any of you are just seeing this video now and you're contemplating on applying, it is a little bit too late for that. Maybe you might consider another country, just like CA said. Forget Canada, that country is too freezing cold. Nigerians will always make it work. Wear multiple layers of clothing. Okay, so that's that about Canada. Okay, now I think the last one I was going to talk about is I think the UK immigration. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the UK immigration and then obviously what Nigerian government are saying in regards to this. So like I said, United Kingdom, I've uploaded a couple of videos on my channel about the changes that are due to take place on the 21st of July, if I'm not mistaken. The immigration white paper was introduced, and there's been a lot of changes whereby, the 3-month rule, which I've uploaded the videos on my channel. I think I've uploaded about 2-3 videos about the changes taking effect in the UK this month of July alone. So if you're in the UK, you don't have a permanent residence yet, you're not a Britico, you don't already have indefinite leave to remain, please go to the latest 3 videos on my channel about the changes in the UK and go get yourself educated. Okay, so I think there's a story here that I'm going to be touching on. I think I did share a video of how a Nigerian businessman was declined a visiting visa. He's a well-known Nigerian businessman. He owns like a security personnel in Nigeria, but he was still denied visa. In fact, from the refusal, he will not even be able to appeal, which means that man will never ever be able to enter the UK. I don't know why. In my own opinion, when I did that video, the videos on my channel, I did say maybe there's something they found that the channel that reported that news is not actually diving into it. Because how can somebody who has a business of his own, who has provided security stuff for Obasanjo in the past, and I think he's provided security for dignitaries in Nigeria, like politicians and stuff, why would they refuse him a visiting visa with his family? So their intention was to come and visit his sister and our Oyinbo husband. Even the Oyinbo husband were like, no, we are going to provide and all of that. They still said no, even though the businessman is able to provide for himself and his family, but they still refused him a visiting visa. And as it was, or as it at then, he would not be able to enter the UK. So UK, a high profile refusal of a UK visit. So that's the businessman I'm going to talk about. So the visa refusal incident. So who was the person? He's a Nigerian businessman. His name was Samuel Onyekachi Ibiawuchi, head of BK Security, offering protection services to high-profile clients like former President Goodluck Jonathan, UK, US politicians, celebrities, and sports stars. Applied for a UK visa for himself, his wife, and their child. Why apply? They wanted a 3-week summer family holiday to visit his sister in the UK with full financial sponsorship from her and her husband. So a sister is married to an Oyibo man, and the Oyibo man is well-to-do. So they won't have any reason, right? But then what happened? The UK Home Office refused, claiming doubts about their intention to return to Nigeria and questioning the legitimacy of his business and income. See? They questioned the legitimacy of his business and income. That's what it is. So should they be questioning the legitimacy of his income? Let me know your thought and opinion in the comment section. They even suggested future applications might be refused. Just like I said, guys, that it will not be able to enter the UK. Allegations of a racist crackdown. Obviously, it's been described, that news was described as the Home Office being racist, but Oyinbo people said they are not being racist. So his refusal sparked claims, including by his UK-based sister and advocacy groups, that the decision was part of a larger pattern of discrimination targeting Nigerian applicants. Critics argued that qualified, financially stable Nigerians are being unfairly denied, despite clear evidence of their ties to home. His sister, Hope Ibiawuchi Bills, stated, "There's no doubt, as part of their overtly racist crackdown on." So they claimed that they were racist. So, official response and broader context. British High Commission in Nigeria refutes any new Nigeria-specific visa restrictions, emphasizes the visa system is under constant review, intended to deter misuse, but denies blanket changes targeting Nigerians. You know what? The annoying thing is that they are building bigger UK embassies or British High Commissions in Nigeria. Was it recently that they built a newer and bigger British High Commission in Abuja? So they are building all of these offices and they don't want Nigerians to come to the UK. So what is the essence? What is the purpose of the new buildings they are building? I don't know how many high commissions are in Nigeria, but I think there's a newly built one in Abuja, a newly built and massive one. So what's the purpose of building? You are building, you just want to, you are enabling Nigerians to come and apply for visas. You're chopping all of their money, but then you're not allowing them to come. So maybe when you refuse them, you should refund their money as well. I'm just thinking out loud, okay? I'm thinking out loud, okay? So they urge applicants to provide accurate documentation and source applications through official channels. Also, visa fees are risen slightly, and the electronic travel authorization system is expanding, but Nigerians aren't yet affected. We'll see about that, but I'm sure there's going to be changes in a few weeks. Also, historical patterns and broader concerns. UK refusal rates are already higher for applicants from African and other developing countries. I'm sure you agree with me. Reports indicate inconsistent decision-making and refusals for spurious reasons, such as insufficient proof of ties or unreliable financial evidence, even when clearly documented. I mean, when I invited my mom over, we didn't have any issues. In fact, we were told that in 2 weeks' time, the visa will be ready. The visa only took 3 days. We were not even aware that the visa has been issued. It was not until the guy who was helping look after the application was like, you know what, have you asked your mom to go back to the embassy? To the embassy to go check, because obviously they said 2 weeks. So it was exactly at the 2 weeks that the guy was like, no, I think you should ask someone to go there. So my mom and my sister went, and we saw that it has been ready for pickup. My mom was just waiting for the 2 weeks. So I think it was stamped 3 days or something. So, but that was years ago. I had my last daughter in 2010. So that was in 2010. That was 13, 15 years ago. So a lot of things have changed now. So obviously there's been comments from Reddit commenters who've experienced similar refusals, noted recurring themes. So if you go to all these blogs, you see people leaving comments of their experiences, okay? So some are saying, in quote, they look for reasons to reject rather than approve, especially from higher risk countries. Yeah, Nigeria is number one of higher risk country. You can imagine a whole person, Adiola Fayem, whose husband and children are American citizens, and they were just traveling in between somewhere, and because she carried Nigerian passport. I'm still meaning to react to that video, but obviously it's past now. It's no longer trending now. Applicants from the continent are denied, ranging from discrimination on account of income to inconsistent decision making. And I think the way why they are obviously looking into Nigeria the more is the fact that Nigerians, we are allegedly known for Oluwole. That's why I always say that if you want to travel abroad, make sure you have your paperwork are genuine. Don't go to Oluwole, don't go to Ajegunle, or don't go to wherever to go and do Oluwole paperwork. If your paperwork is not originally yours, please don't include any documentation that is not originally yours in your application. Because if you're already doing that, if you're already including application that is not yours, or if you're already including documentation that's not originally yours, in a way, that's fraud. That's you fraudulently trying to obtain something you will not be able to get if you use your own original documentation. And it is better that you use your own original documentation. Be refused and know why you're being refused, so that if you're given a chance to appeal, you can appeal. But if they find that you've used alleged Oluwole documentations and they refuse you, or more, you are a gun, and they might not give you the chance to even appeal. And also, if you're also applying to travel abroad, your money, there's a reason why there's a bank, right? Put your money, and now it's even harder to save or put your money in the banks in Nigeria, because snake will just nowadays snake they swallow money from Nigerian banks, and I don't understand why. There have been stories of people saying they went to the bank and a certain amount of money was withdrawn, and you're asking the bank are not able to give you explanation as to why such amount of money is missing from their bank. So it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know how to go about that or go over that. But yeah, maybe I don't know. But people in Nigeria will always, let me know, what banks would you recommend that if you're a Nigerian that you should save money with? Give us, the best, like the bank that you've been banking with, you've never had an issue with them. If you're watching this video back, please kindly drop it in the comment section. Okay, so let's move on. So what this means for Nigerian visa applicants. So no formal policy change here, but practical intensifications in scrutiny. Yes, they scrutinize everything. Piggy vest. But if you use piggy vest, is that an app or an online bank? Abby, please expatiate further. So yes, there's much more scrutiny on Nigerians. I must be honest with you guys, okay? Especially regarding financial stability, business legitimacy, and assurance of return. Yes, they named Nigeria as one of the countries that no matter what visa you carry come enter this country, Nigerians will be the first. They were on the list of countries who will come into this country and then claim asylum. You can imagine you came here on the student visa, you came here on the post-work graduate visa, and then 6 months after you are going to go and apply for asylum. Make it make sense. And you submitted the bank statement that you have millions, and in 6 months you're going to go and claim asylum. It doesn't make sense. And Mabi says, I like Access Bank because they have a UK brand. All right, okay. CA said the same thing happens to some of the members of the Windrush generation, yes, and they are still battling it with them also. And their children, there was a huge immigration scandal back in 2018, even though they are resident and set in the UK. Yeah, that case with the Windrush generation is still ongoing. It's still ongoing. Yeah, it's still ongoing. Abby said, Access Bank have a good saving system and give interest that makes sense, but your money has to be locked for a year. I don't think Nigerians will want to do that. Anyway, I think Kolo is the best. If you do Kolo, you will not be able to show how you are putting money. So I don't think they will accept Kolo, Abby. I don't think they will accept Kolo. So what this also means for Nigerians is that the perception of bias persists, particularly when refusals follow standard rule-based submissions yet feel unjustly applied. And also, meanwhile, the UK maintains it processes about 1,500 Nigerian applications daily, and that many Nigerians continue to secure visas successfully. I don't know how through that. They didn't give us their figures. The takeaway from this is that this case starkly illustrates the tension between perceptions of racial profiling and unfair scrutiny, especially for Africans applying under standard documented conditions. 2, systemic enforcement of immigration rules, where decision makers are increasingly risk averse, sometimes to the point of rejecting applicants who technically meet requirements. No be today, we've known that, okay? There's no evidence of an official policy aimed solely at Nigerians. At this case, I think there's one, but they are just not sharing it with us. But many Nigerians feel they are being held to a different standard in practice. I believe so. Unless the Home Office rebalances its risk assessment model, this pattern, denial for lack of, in quote, strong ties despite clear proof, may continue to sow mistrust. And also, let me know if you like a deeper dive. Obviously, example on statistics. I'm not about to go into statistics this morning. That's pretty much all about that changes in the UK. Like I said, there's lots of changes that's happening this month of July for, if you're already working with an employer, before you can apply for that employer to give you sponsorship, you need to have been working with that employer for 3 months. If you're not able to show proof that you've been with that employer for 3 months, you might not be able to switch your visa. So I have that video on my channel. So if you would really want to understand it, please go watch that video. I don't have all of the details in my head just now, but go watch that, okay? So I'm just going to move on to the last slide, and then hopefully I shall round up this live stream in case anybody wants to drop a comment. Or I don't think I will take any call. I just want to quickly drive through this. I said I'll be here for half an hour, but it's taking me almost an hour. Anyway, Nigerian government response to the US. So Nigeria's federal government has officially objected to the US decision, describing it as unfair, disproportionate, and contrary to the principles of reciprocity. That's how to pronounce it, right? Equity and mutual respect that should guide relations between friendly nations. Okay? So Nigerian government are saying, so Kimiebi Abiemfa, the Foreign Affairs Ministry spokesperson, stated the policy places a disproportionate burden on Nigerian travelers, students, professionals, families, and individuals contributing to cultural and educational exchanges. He also urges the US to reconsider. Trump will not reconsider. To reconsider the 3-month single entry restriction in the spirit of partnership, cooperation, and shared global responsibilities. He also clarified that Nigeria had not implemented any recent reciprocal visa restrictions towards US citizens, emphasizing that the policy appears misaligned with existing bilateral practices. Like I said, I believe Nigeria has something similar, and the US government were like, okay, you already have this against us. We are just going to match your energy. And I think that is what the Trump administration have done here. So diplomatic and strategic moves. The federal government confirmed that diplomatic engagements were on the way to seek redress and a return to fair visa terms. And the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is conducting ongoing consultations with stakeholders to assess the impact and determine a measured response. Guys, let me know what you think about that. So high-level intervention. According to Daily Trust, President Buhari has appointed a committee led by the Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, to study the visa changes, address related security concerns, and liaise with the US, Interpol, and other partners to restore cooperation. Good luck to them. Key takeaways. Government position. Okay, we already saw that. Condemnation. Nigerian government, Nigeria views the US visa policy as unfair, I can't speak, I'm sure you guys can read that, and unjustified. Engagement, formal diplomatic talks initiated to resolve the issue. Organization response. A presidentially appointed committee is investigating and interfacing with US counterparts. Good luck to them. And in summary, Nigeria has responded through formal protests pressuring the US for the reversal of mobilizing diplomatic channels, and launching an internal review committee. I don't think the US are going to back down on this. If they're going to back down, they'll probably say to Nigeria that something of similar that you have against the US, you need to either reformulate that or maybe you back down as well. But in this regard, I don't think the US are going to change their minds. I don't think they're going to change. Anyway, that's that about what Nigeria has said in regards to all of these changes. So I think that they just want to show Nigeria Pepe, because I don't understand all of these changes all of a sudden, like all of these visa changes in one day, in a week. It's just too much. It's too much. CA is replying, CA saying a lot of them didn't have paperwork to prove they were settled, plus the UK stupidly lost their paperwork. So many of them who has been here for over 30 years with no passport. Exactly. So hence why I think I did share the effect of that. If their parents had actually filed for them, they wouldn't have found themselves in this situation. And I think I shared the reason why I learned from this as well, because like I said, when I gave birth to my children, I did not have any permanent residence, which meant that whatever immigration I had then was what my children had. So immediately I got my indefinite leave to remain. The children that I had before I got my permanent residence, they were still counted under me as not being permanent residents in the country. So I had to pay thousands of pounds. The only child that I did not have to spend any penny for was my last daughter, because I was already a British citizen when I gave birth to her in 2011. I was a Britico when I gave birth to my daughter. So all I needed to do there was just apply for a British passport with a birth certificate because I was already a British citizen. So my other 4 children that I gave birth to before I became a permanent resident in the UK, I had to register them to become a British citizen. If I had not done that, they'll probably find their way in this Windrush generation issue. And yes, that application cost me over £6,000. Yes, because I had to pay for biometrics, whatever. I see those paperwork documentation. I still kept everything. I had to go on to. I think then I used form MN1 for children, and each application including biometrics, paperwork documentation, whatever. Each application for each child cost me about £950. If I had to add post office stamps, passport photographs, each child cost me £950, and I had to do that for 4 children. Calculate that, back and forth. So it was a lot. It was a lot of money, and I was like, there was no way they should have been asking me to pay that more. But yes, I had to pay that because I felt like if I don't do it for them, if I decide that when they grow up, they will do that for themselves, it will cost them money, and policies and rules might change, which might affect them. And I'm like, no, what this country, they change like the weather. So hence why I decided to put that money in there and do that. So I registered them to become a British citizen, and then applied for their British passports. That was what I did, and it was not cheap at all. It was not cheap. And for me, even when I had my indefinite leave to remain, I paid about, I think, £1,400 to apply for citizenship. So if I add almost £4,000 of my children and £1,500 for mine, that's over £5,500. Yes, and it was cash that I paid. Cash. So anyway, guys, this is where I'm going to draw the curtain for today. So this was just like an update as to all of the changes that has been going on in regards to visa changes, rules everywhere. And Nigerians, we need to change our ways. And I think in a way, I'm rounding up, guys. In a way, I think this is just a sign that Nigerians, we need to clamor for our country, our government to do better for our country, because it seems like these countries are shutting Nigerians out. It seems these countries are shutting Nigeria away. They don't want us. So I think this is like a warning and another opening call to say, Nigerians, clamor for your government to do better. Clamor for your government to do better. So I've been seeing news of coalition ADC. I don't understand that politics. I don't understand politics. Hence why I have not come out here to talk about it. Because if I decide to come out and talk about it, I have a lot to say. But if I come out to talk about it, I'll be messing things up. And I cannot depend on my viewers to tell me what is going on. I've seen all of I'm still trying to make sense of the coalition. Peter Obi, Atiku, blah blah. What is like? Atiku already was once a Nigerian president. What is he coming back to do again? Allow somebody who has never been. Allow them. So why are they now? Maybe it's good so that they can move Balabulu away. Okay, it's good that they are forming coalition to move Balabulu away. But then what's this talk of is Atiku that is going to run for presidency? I think it's obviously the Nigerians want Peter Obi. So if Peter Obi is now merging with Atiku, what are they saying that it's Atiku that is going to run as president? Like Atiku was once a president, so let him step aside. Yeah, he can be in the back end pushing for Peter Obi, and then people are now mad. Like Peter Obi said, he only want to run for 1 term. You allowed your 2 term. Why are you opting for 1 term? You know what, guys? Like I said, I don't understand policies, and I don't want to dive into it, so I don't make a mockery or a mess of myself. So, with that being said, guys, let me know, guys. Is anyone wanting to come up and say 1 or 2 things? If not, I'm just going to round up this live stream and go. I'm going to drop the link in the comment section and take maybe 2 calls, and then we shall end the live stream, guys. My plan is to be here for 1 hour. I've got a lot of videos to edit, and also there's these new changes on YouTube, which means that any video, now I'm confused because I don't know which of my videos is falling, or I don't know which of my video falls into this reason why YouTube is going to monetize it. So I'm going to have to go through all of my videos and try and figure out which one should not be. So hello, my beautiful sis Oni babe, how are you?
What's up? Hi.
Nothing much.
I think it's really, really unfortunate what's happening to Nigerians, but it's about accountability. I really take it seriously. And I think, unfortunately, this is what happens when you don't, us as Nigerians, do not tell fellow Nigerians, this is not correct. This is not acceptable. And I think even if the people that are doing their illegal or allegedly illegal ways are in the majority, in the minority. Us as the majority that are doing the right thing, we need to name and shame that this behavior is not correct.
Yeah.
And I feel that sometimes you have relatives or people you know they're doing whatever, and we choose to keep quiet. And because of that, even us, like I said, that are doing the right thing, we're going to be tarred with the same brush as all the people that are doing allegedly the wrong thing. So I think it's a wake-up call for all of us. And I think, life is not fair. And I think it's a wake-up call to all of us as Nigerians to do better.
Absolutely.
So if you're going to make a plan to go to another country, everything like you said, Mama Five, do not. I mean, I have relatives that have done this type of things, and I look at them and then we have arguments. I'm too British, whatever. You know, I can only say what I say. If you want to continue on that dark path of doing the wrong thing, then anything that happens to you, you're on your own. Exactly. And I think I've got relatives that think like that. So there must be many Nigerians that have people they know that behave like this. So unfortunately, the minority are spoiling it for the majority. And I think the countries have a right to implement any immigration policy. You don't have to like it. But exactly. I mean, I'm not very naive that I don't believe that there is bias and discrimination. But I think at the end of the day, I do have this premise that if you're doing things the right way, then hopefully any immigration person that's looking at your case will hopefully see that you're legitimate. Now, that's businessmen. As my question is, because I deal with property and I deal with a lot of money laundering stuff, there could be a question, as much as he's been coming and going and he's rich and everything, where did that money come from? And let's be very fair. Allegedly, there's a lot of rich Nigerians. There's questions regarding the source of their wealth. So let's just be real. So if the immigration service have a small probability that they don't believe that his source of his wealth is legitimate, I'm sorry, but I agree with their decision. At the end of the day, let's just be real. There's many people that, there was this case of, I think, a lady that was the mayor of one, I think you mentioned it, there was where they took her.
That mayor.
Exactly. And that is supposed to be a mayor. Someone settled, and she was doing, allegedly scam. We now found out that they couldn't prove the source of their wealth. So, and that was someone that was based here. And, it went to court. The husband didn't do the statement in time. There was questions regarding the foreign exchange.
They lose the house.
Blah, blah, blah. You mentioned it. So that's just one example. So I personally feel that, all this racism, there's racism out there, don't get me wrong. But I think that sometimes let's be accountable and know that, yes, there's racism, but in some cases, legitimately, you're doing things the wrong way and you have to face the consequences of that.
Absolutely.
I think that's the problem. I'm tired of us as a community blaming racism for every single thing. Yes, there's legitimate cases of racism, but my question is that are you, they're going to question people. I mean, I have a friend of mine, and I don't know, I'm not going to mention names, where he said to me, there's a lady that he knows, she overstayed. I'm looking at him and I'm laughing. That is just every day that she's overstaying, she's pregnant, and I'm looking at him that you do know that even if she has a child here, because she's overstayed, her child will not be British. Exactly. And people have advised her to stay. That's the average Nigerian advising someone. Why we are not advising them to do the right thing? Now, I can only say from my experience, but people cannot disagree with me that many Nigerians will advise them to do the wrong thing. And that's my problem with us as a community. We need to do better, act better, and speak out to people that are doing the wrong thing. Only when that happens will there be change in perception of the way that other people view Nigerians as a community. And yes, I do agree that not all of us are doing it.
True.
But the problem is that we are keeping quiet regarding the people that are doing it. And I think that's the problem. And I think it has to get to a stage where countries are now targeting Nigerians rather than saying, playing the victim game. Ask yourself the question, why are they targeting Nigerians? Because unfortunately, we have this perception and this narratives that we're always doing things allegedly, illegally, and not the right way.
So this way to Oluwole, if you go to Peckham in London.
Exactly. Even the whole COS thing, my mom was saying to me that she wants to bring. I said, Mommy, Jojo, please, I don't want to start fighting you. She was saying it. Oh, I want to bring one friend of mine through COS. I said, Mommy, this is what I'm saying. The average Nigerian believes that, to help someone, I have to do things illegally. And I said, Mommy, don't do that. It's illegal. She says, I'm so beautiful. I said, well, you brought me here to be born here. So what did you expect? But I think the average Nigerian believes that the short way of doing things is the right way. And I think we need to change our mindset. Someone
Absolutely.
talking well, it's not my president, but President Tinubu and what he did. That's unprecedented. And I always say
Exactly.
it starts from the head. So if you've got a whole president with that allegedly fraud mentality, what do you expect the
What
average
do you
Nigerian
expect?
to behave? Do you understand what I'm saying? So I think,
Absolutely.
I think personally that we all need to be accountable and say that, yes, Mama Five is talking, Honey Babe is talking, but all of us as Nigerians need to call out, sorry to say, the bullshit. That
Exactly.
no, this is wrong. At the end of the day, you can't force someone to change, but at least you're accountable to yourself as a community to say that this is wrong. I'm not going to condone it. I'm not going to be friends with you. I'm not going to hang around with you because my mindset is different. But what I find is that, it just takes, I think, there's this thing called a few good men doing nothing. By you not saying anything, you're condoning the behavior. So you saying that, oh, I'm not doing anything, you're keeping silent. That's giving the idea that you condone their behavior. So I believe that all of us have a responsibility as Nigerians to call out the bullshit.
Yeah,
And I think by
absolutely.
doing that, if all of us do that, this kind of pay forward kind of thing, if all of us do that, there will be change, and hopefully there will be a new mindset in terms of, Nigerians are straight up decent individuals. When you make, like I said, people think I'm Jamaican because of my accent and my
I always thought you were Jamaican, to be
does
honest.
that. And like I said, because my British name is Anne Marie, but my Nigerian name is Oyi, hence the honey babe. I have to tell people all the time that yes, I was born here, but I'm Nigerian. They always say to me, a lot of my friends, colleagues, when I was in uni, always say to me, they don't see me as Nigerian because the average Nigerian is a scammer. And I get quite offended, but it's quite upsetting to know that they don't see me as a true Nigerian, because most Nigerians, to them, based on their experience, which I think is wrong, is a scammer. I'm always been told, oh, you're not a typical Nigerian. And it's a compliment, but it's not, because they're trying to say that the average Nigerian has deviant behavior. And I think, like I said, the narrative and the perception of Nigerians, it needs to change. And I think we need to call out the bullshit. And that's the only way things are changing. It's going to affect us, but sometimes we have to go through pain in order for change to happen. So when all Nigerians are being inconvenienced, whether traveling to Canada, US, UK, enough of you will open your mouth and say, I'm tired of being targeted like this. We need to change. So unfortunately, all of us need to be, have to be in some type of pain for change to happen.
True, absolutely. I agree with you, Sister. Thank you so much for your contribution.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Right, guys, this is where I draw the curtain for today. Thank you so much. Only Babe has just nailed it in the head, and I've decided to leave this Abyss comment here. Yes, on this channel, I have been called out. Say, you're a Nigerian. Why are you saying this? Why are you saying that? No, because at the end of the day, I have children in this diaspora that all of these shenanigans that our Nigerian people it's still going to impact on them. So I'm doing my bits. And like Only Babe said, I can't force anybody to change, but I'm calling out the wrong ear. Okay. So if you like change, if you like don't change, if they catch you, you're on your own. You go and use your nose to rub the metal bar. With that being said, guys, I'm going to pull the curtain out there. Thank you so much for being a part of this live stream. Please feel free and share. If you watch back, if you had a chance to watch back this video, drop your thought and opinion as always, and let's take the conversation further in the comment section. With that being said, thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate you all. And yes, I think I want to go edit the video of the new changes to YouTube. And yes, guys, a lot of videos. Thank you so much, Abby. A lot of videos. I'm going to be deleting a lot of videos on my channel because I think my channel has maybe violated some of those rules. I think as it is, almost all of the Ifunaya videos, I'm going to be deleting them on my channel in case you are coming to watch them. They might be leaving my channel before the 15th of July, because I have up until the 15th of July to delete these videos. So videos whereby I have not actually sat down in it like this and be talking, those videos are going to be leaving my channel. So unfortunately, all of Ifunaya's videos where I was posting all of the videos from my channel, I think those videos are going to come off my channel. And with that being said, we are growing better. We are having more topics to discuss more on this channel. So please, if you don't yet turn on the post notification on my channel, please turn on the bell so you get notified each and every time. And as always, like, share, subscribe, and I shall see you guys later. Guys, let me know in the comment section, or maybe let me know, do you want us to discuss Iyabo Ojo? Because Iyabo Ojo has been receiving a lot of HAT recently, A letter was sent to her threatening her daughter's marriage. Her building went up on fire. Since Very Dark Man started this interview of Justice for Mohbad, Iyabo Ojo's building, one of our offices in Nigeria, was burnt. got burnt, but she was able to save it. And then her daughter released a letter that somebody dropped at her mother's office, where that person was allegedly threatening Priscilla's wedding and also threatening her mom. And there's been lots of videos of touts saying that they want to buy Iyabo Ojo. Guys, let me know exactly. I feel bad for her as well, because in my own opinion, she's not done anything wrong. She's not done anything. This is no, obviously she's castigating all of the people that are doing bad things, and now they're now coming. So this just for Mohbad that Very Dark Man have started. I really don't know what is in it for Very Dark Man. I don't even know what he is, trying to get out of this. But guys, maybe I should drop a poll. If you want us to discuss this, let me know. I will maybe schedule a video for. I'm working on Saturday. Maybe we'll do it on a Friday night, because I'm still trying to see how this story about is going to develop based on these interviews that Very Dark Man has been carrying out on the people who are a part of Mohbad's life. So I think I will drop a poll on my community page. I'm thinking about that, so maybe I should just not just be watching and just let it go, because obviously, yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys later. Right? I think I'll just be following the story, and I might not. What is YouTube getting complicated? I have seen, yes, there are no policies. So for example, now being a YouTuber like this, if I have a video like this on my channel, it's fine. But if you are taking people's videos and you're not editing it in any way, so there are some people. So for instance, if you look at the videos of Ifunaya that I posted, I've only done the mere minimal on it. I've added a few music, I've added the video credits, I have added like a still picture of me inserted in the video. In a way, I don't think that video will qualify. YouTube might strike my channel if I don't delete it from this. This is more or less like, what, I've done minimally nothing on that video. Maybe I've not edited it in a way, I've not like make it your own. Like, what difference has that video you've uploaded made as compared to where you took it from? So maybe, like for instance, if I'm listening, see the way I will share my screen and we watch that video, I would imagine that should be fine. But if you've just uploaded somebody else's content onto your channel without doing anything of your own editing to it, in a way, it's more or less like you're using somebody's content, but you've not done any work on it. And also, I would imagine that all of the live stream that I've done with other people's video in it, I would imagine that should be all right. I'm open, but all of those Ifunaya videos where I was sharing them, like all the single videos that she posted, those videos I would imagine will be off of my channel. So yeah, so see, even now, even if you credit the video, it's not enough. It's not enough. Well, I think what you be saying that you need to do some sort of changes that makes it totally different from where you've gotten the video from. So either you make commentary with your voice on it, or I don't know, but yeah, so far because even me, I'm still trying to understand it. I was watching Uncle Beno's video this morning, and I did see. I've been seeing the notice. I didn't even think that it would matter to me, but then when I was not watching Uncle Beno this morning, I'm like, come, I've got short videos on my channel, oh. So I've started deleting some videos, but again, I've bombarded Uncle Beno with lots of questions. So I'm hoping that once he wakes up, he will be able to help me make clarification. So yeah, if there's any video on my channel that you like, that I've not actually put my face to, that I'm talking and doing this, they might be coming off my channel. So yeah, just so I think I've got a video that I'm going to be editing actually to explain that a little bit more. So we'll see. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Let me go and I'll see you guys later. All right. Bye, everybody.